Welcome back to After the Midnight, everybody.
This week we're discussing the bonus track from Endless Summer, Comet. Just smooth sax right there. Don't usually hear that. Nice panning.
If the sun's not up, I'll bring it to you. And if my mind says stop, my heart will know what to do. And if the stars are fading, I'll blow the sun to pieces, make it rain, till the loneliness is gone. We could roll back time before we were broken inside. Leave it all behind and forget the world for a while. Or maybe we'd be strangers and we never needed fixing. We'd be okay, 'cause we never met at all. I could be a comet floating through space, 'cause being lost in you is the best place. Let's go back to where we started. I'll be right here. Just follow the light, let me burn through your atmosphere. I'll burn for you. When the day turns night, you know
Bringing the drums back in there.
I know I never expected to go
see the light
this way, but I love it.
You know you're not alone. Maybe we could make it out here where the air is clearer and the blue, far away from gravity. I could be a comet floating through space, 'cause being lost in you is the best place. Let's go back to where we started. I'll be right here. Just follow the light, let me burn through your atmosphere. I'll burn for you.
Thomas Edinger here.
I'll be like a comet floating in your space.
That was Comet, clocking in at 5 minutes and 17 seconds.
It's crazy. It doesn't feel like that
It doesn't.
long of a song, man. I get so lost in that one.
We mentioned, that panning synth there, and there's also kind of a running synth throughout the whole thing. It's really nice. And I like how the drums take a while to come in. They're there for a while, they leave again, and then they come back. It adds like this fast-paced kind of energy to it, and then it kind of steps back.
It almost feels like the moment of impact with the Comet. From the first listen, I mean, I've heard the song so many times now, but those drums are always such a nice and familiar surprise because I feel like it very much builds a vibe with those synths in the beginning, and that riff gets stuck in my head, and then the drums come in and give you a very different feel. I just feel like the song takes you in a couple different directions like that you don't expect. Like I never would have expected a saxophone solo on a song like this, especially because Thomas is in that lower register, softer breath.
It's actually like 2 saxophone solos. Near the end there's a saxophone solo, and then there's the ending kind of verse, and then it comes back. Thomas
Speaks of a certain wail that he uses when he usually plays on Midnight tracks, and this one has definitely a different type of wail than the majority of the other stuff that he's done with them.
He actually said this is one of their first songs that they wrote together.
Tim and I got together for the first time in 2013. I was traveling with my tenor saxophone at the time, and Tim and I got in the studio and basically just had a little jam. I'm pretty sure that Comet was one of the songs that came out of that session. Most of what I've done for the Midnight has been on the alto saxophone, and actually on this particular alto saxophone, it's Yanagisawa from 1980.
The way Thomas makes it sound, he just happened to be in Los Angeles. He was on tour with Lucas Graham. He had his tenor saxophone. Definitely feels like that contributes to the lighter sound that we get here, because the only other tracks I can think of that really have this tone of sax would be maybe like Crockett's Revenge or something like that more sensual saxophone kind of vibe. He said that this was one of their first songs that came out more just like a jam,
which is crazy to hold on to a song for that long. Tim actually teased this back in 2016 on Facebook, and fans had to wait another 5 years for it.
We actually got a chance to speak with Tyler a little bit, just talking about the very beginning roots of where this song came from.
Yeah, it was recorded and written before Endless Summer, but in that space, Tim had gone through a breakup in Denmark. He was still kind of in the process of transitioning to moving to the U.S., and he had he had a couple verse ideas, and he had a chorus, and he had a very clear sort of sense of what he wanted to say with the song. So really, I just helped craft the verse to be a little more succinct, I think. It's kind of hard to remember. It was such a quick day, but that's my memory of Comet. It was mainly kind of from Tim's heart. It was one of those songs that he felt he needed to write to kind of get over some of those feelings in the breakup. So that part you'd have to let him speak to. But yeah, this was in the early days when we didn't have a very super clear idea of what we were doing sonically, and as soon as the song was finished, I think Tim felt like writing the song was enough. So it was kind of put in the back burner and was never planned to be released as a Midnight song. But it definitely came in that early batch of songs that we worked on from 2013, 2014, 2015.
That's pretty awesome how the song predates the Midnight and that Tyler had helped work on it.
Yeah, before they really knew that this was the Midnight, 2013, 2014, 2015. I mean, they're writing, Days of Thunder stuff back then, and just trying to figure out what this thing is going to be. And the fact that Tim, used this song as therapy to get over a tough situation and a huge change. I mean, to move to LA from Denmark, experience just all this change, to meet Tyler and have this song, written and have these lyrics that you really want to put out, and he comes along and is able to help, kind of clean that up and make it something more succinct. Like he said, they write it and then it sits, and then they decided to put it out.
Yep. for the 5-year anniversary.
Yep. Tyler also talks about why they decided to release it on the 5th year anniversary, and we'll play that for you guys.
They were one thing when they were recorded, and now they mean something else because we've been able to sing them to a lot of people all over the place. We wanted to put the package together just as a way to show fans that there were a couple other things. We are not a band traditionally who has a ton of excess material. We're getting better with that. As a singer-songwriter, I always think the metric 100 songs to one good song is the right one. But Tim comes from producer land, and production is a much more involved and hands-on process. And after 2014, we didn't live in the same city, so it was a little more intentional and focused. And the songs that we wrote are the songs we put out, minus Bend and Comet. So we had it lying around. We didn't want to put it out as a midnight song on a new record, so we thought that was probably the best vehicle to put it out there.
Just to hear him talk about their songwriting process a little bit, just a little peek behind the curtain, the fact that they're very intentional when they write. They don't have a bunch of excess songs and then they choose the best from that. They come in and say, these are the 12 songs that we're going to do for this release, and that's how they do things. So that's interesting to learn that everything is very intentional.
Yeah, it's an interesting song because it almost sounds like a love song. And then you listen a little bit harder and you realize it's really about a breakup or a split up, and this person, wanting to do whatever they can to mend things or go back in time and not have to live through that. Maybe they would be better if they didn't even experience that at all, which is actually very different from Memories, which is about how you had this moment in your life and that made you who you are and you had to experience it. This is kind of the opposite of, I kind of wish I didn't have to live through that.
It almost feels like there's some competing feelings in the lyrics of what you just said, but then also just like very much yearning for that person who you were still with, but then realizing maybe it would have been better if we would have just never met at all. You can just feel that this is a deeply personal song. Same with like Synthetic, and Tim has a very emotional singing voice. I mean, it's a very different take on vocals in the Midnight than what Tyler gives us, and it just, you can feel his pain almost in this song. That's what hits me in the feels. Is it's just an emotional track, man.
Another reason it's fan favorite is because it is Tim singing. Of all the songs in the Midnight, this is only song number 2 that he sings on. Synthetic being the other one which you just talked about,
which are both on this album if you're
paying attention. He likes to kind of take a back seat, I think, and as far as being the front leader of the band, even though it's really his baby. I feel in many ways it's his production baby.
Tim has been asked on quite a few occasions about singing this song live, and Tim is no stranger to singing live. I want to say it was like 3 years ago or so. They did a run of shows where they had this really nice medley where it was like Death Touch, and then they did a cover of Don't Stand So Close to Me by the Police, and then it went into Lonely City.
Young teacher, the surgeon of schoolgirl fantasy. She wants you so bad, she knows what she wants to be. Inside her, there's longing.
So he's no stranger to singing live. I just think that, both of the times that he sings on Endless Summer, they're very vulnerable songs.
True. All right. Since we mentioned this as a fan favorite, let's hear from the fans.
This first tweet comes from @WhoNeedsNormal, and they say, when I hear Comet, I think about how so often we find the person we think we love, and we hold on so tightly, and even when there is clearly something wrong with the relationship, we don't want to let go of the feeling of love and exchange it for loneliness. We would rather try to force the broken pieces together and do everything in our power to make that person we love and want to be with happy. I don't know that they meant for any of these ideas in their lyrics. That's just what I think about when I hear it. Definitely relate to that.
Natalie says, After years of wishing, hoping, and praying we'd finally get to hear the heavenly symphony that is Comet and Tim's angelic voice once again, this is a look on our faces when the midnight shatters our illusions of ever hearing it live. Thanks, Tim.
Benoit says, an unexpected release from a demo we never thought we'd be hearing again, and wow, what a treat this was. As Tyler's feelings really bleed on the years or Brooklyn, Tim's feelings on this one are so beautiful, with no fake words or anything. Pure bliss and perfect mix of music.
Agreed. It is the perfect mix. This one's from Ryan Jacob. Comet, being the unreleased track of Endless Summer, accurately feels like a deep and emotional message meant for a specific person, which makes it the most blissful yet painful regarding the narrative. A confession of love, if you will. It's a hopeful message against one of the main themes of Endless Summer, that being loneliness. I've always imagined this being placed right before the Comeback Kid because of how beautiful it would be to go from Comet to singing the Comeback Kid.
So we actually have some audio from @MillerPC. If you guys aren't familiar with Miller, he's recreated a bunch of stuff from the Midnight Verse for VR that you can go through, hang out in. You don't need an Oculus headset or anything like that. He's super, super talented. He actually did some work for us in our Nighthawks and Lonely City video. Big shout out to him for that.
Yep, awesome.
So let's hear what he has to say about Comet.
Hi, I'm Miller. I wanted to give my own 2 cents of what Comet means to me. I know it was originally a part of the bonus tracks of Endless Summer, but when it was finally released to the public, it was during one of the most toughest parts of my life yet. 2021 was a mess of a year for me. I had a 3-year relationship end on a whim. I lost my cat to cancer after 15 years. I mean, she practically grew up with me. I found out that my health was on a steady decline, nearing my own death. And it wasn't easy at all. Comet was finally pushed to the public, and I was at a loss. I probably bawled my eyes out endlessly and realized that there are other things in life to be proud of, to be happy for, and to look forward to. Comet means more than just, living, but living the best that I can and loving myself for everything I have accomplished. For a while I lost my light, and after some time I found mine, and hopefully to be someone else's Comet. I have my reason to keep going, and I'll find my Comet.
Yep, this is really an emotional song, and it's awesome to see that it can help people in that way. That is, again, the power of music is pretty incredible.
Absolutely. Just to have something come into your life when everything seems so dark and be that literal light that can pull you through. You have people say that music has saved their lives, but it's true, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep, thanks for sharing. Again, this is just such an awesome community. So many creative people in this fan base, and it's awesome that the Midnight allows anybody to make fan videos and upload them. We see them all the time. Really creative from everybody, and we were stoked to make a video for Comet.
They really let people thrive with their music. The fact that there's no real, that if you're a streamer, you can use that and not worry about copyright. You can really take their art and run with it and really make it yours, and to have this community of people who have come together, whether you're just a fan or a fan who likes to make stuff. It's such a supportive community, and there's so many talented individuals. It's just amazing to be able to put stuff like that together to this art that collectively inspires all of us, and just have a community of like-minded people who like it. So we're eternally grateful to even be a part of it. So
Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.